Hello, I'm Dr. Jerry Scheidbach. I pastor Lighthouse Baptist Church in Santa Maria, California, and I'm your brain masseur. I'm going to read something to you from the Bible, Isaiah chapter number 29, verse number 21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Now, that verse has some real clear application to what we're doing here today. First of all, California is trying to pass laws that will make a man an offender because he uses a certain word, because he expresses a certain opinion, because he holds to a certain set of values and beliefs and articulates those values and beliefs in public. Then the second part of this, and they lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. Now, in the Old Testament days, the speakers, people who would want to influence public opinion, people who wanted to make a statement or to say something to their neighbors, whatever, in a public kind of way, would go to the gate, and there was often a place there where they would stand, and people would gather, and they would hold forth. And I'm doing that right now. I'm kind of like sitting, as it were, at the gate in our community and in our culture, and I'm holding forth my opinions, and I'm expressing my ideas and my thoughts. And this verse warns about those who would make a man an offender for a word, and they lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. And then turn aside the just for a thing of naught. That is to dismiss or turn aside or to ignore or in other ways marginalize a man for things that really aren't of any consequence. We'll be dealing with that some more as we go along. I'm talking about Assembly Bill 2943 and the fact that in that bill there's language that positions the state in clear opposition and in encroachment and infringement upon the citizens of the state and their First Amendment rights. I discussed the core right in the First Amendment and discussed those rights around it that protect it and how this bill serves to encroach upon that right in the last segment. Let's pick it up from there and let's talk about Assembly Bill 2943. It's supposed to go before the legislature April 10, I believe. All right, so let's get started. It's like the old analogy of the frog in a pot of water being heated very slowly. The frog, reptilian-like, will adjust to the temperature if it rises slowly and will not become uncomfortable and will remain in the pot until the thing croaks, literally. The frog will, however, become uncomfortable and jump out of the pot if the temperature of the water surrounding him rises too quickly. It is possible that the liberals have, in their impatience, raised the temperature in California upon us conservatives, upon the citizens in this state, a little too fast, a little too quickly, because many Californians, not only conservatives and liberals alike, are beginning to get uncomfortable with the direction this state is heading. And I'm talking about Assembly Bill 2943. It's bringing renewed attention to a very unpopular law that was passed some time back. You see, Assembly Bill 2943 actually amends an existing law. That existing law effectively says that homosexuals who are of the opinion that homosexuality is something they no longer want to practice, they are not allowed to get help. They're not allowed to turn to somebody and get help. Why? Because the state has decided they don't need help. And the state has decided that no one can participate in any effort to help a homosexual process a sex change on that level. Now, it's going to be very interesting, so hang on here. The new law basically removes the age limitation because that law was already in place that says that an individual cannot engage in therapy where the objective of the therapy is to help effect a sex change, a change in orientation, I should say. That's specifically the issue here. It used to be the case that you couldn't do that for anyone under 18 years of age. Now, they've removed the 18-year age limitation, and so now it applies to everybody, and that's pretty much what this amendment is seeking to do. That and to extend a little further, because it goes farther than that. Now, this new law not only removes the 18-year limitation issue out of the way, but it also goes farther. It actually lays the groundwork to finally prohibit anyone from publishing anything that suggests homosexuals need help. You know, it's targeting advertising at present, but the language in this bill very easily, and I think clearly, has as its intent to include shutting down any public representation of homosexuality as being a problem, as being a disorder, as being a disease, or as being a sin, this kind of thing. It's already against the law to offer anyone sex change counseling or therapy, right? It's already against the law to help them achieve their own articulated goal to come out of the homosexual lifestyle and to change their sexual orientation. That's already prohibited, which is absurd in and of itself. So the question is, why come behind that with a law that forbids advertising such service? Think about this with me. What are they really after? Because that can't be what they're doing. That doesn't make any sense if that's their only objective. I mean, for example, do drug pushers advertise their drugs? Right? Has anyone thought there needs to be a law specifically addressing the advertising of meth or the advertising of, well, cocaine or any other illegal drug? Well, no. And why? Because it's already illegal to sell those things. So advertising it would simply draw the attention of law to them for that kind of thing. It's about forbidding anyone from publicly saying or making any public representation that suggests homosexuality is a disease, a disorder, or a sin. For reasons that I think you will find intriguing, homosexual activists are particularly sensitive to being told that their behavior is an abomination to God. You've probably seen some of them react to that. It's pretty excessive. Or to be told that their behavior is abhorrent to nature, which clearly it is. Or to be told that their behavior is a trespass against God's law. And they really hate Leviticus 18 and other scriptures, Romans 1 and so on. And I will address that more fully in another segment. The bill in question, in section number 1, presents a long statement of all the reasons the government, that is the liberals in government, use to justify this bill or this law. And of course, state representatives certainly have a right to their opinions on the matter of homosexuality. They have their right to their opinions on the question of the efficacy of counseling to help homosexuals overcome what some homosexuals have come to believe is a behavior they want to quit or a lifestyle they want to get out of. However, government does not have the right to coerce a homosexual man or woman to remain homosexual. Is this absurd or what? It's like the state is saying, if you're homosexual, you can't be anything other than that. But if you're a man, you can become a woman. If you're a woman, you can become a man, or you can become something in between. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here. It is very odd, is it not, that homosexuals have the right to decide to be homosexual, or the right to decide that they are homosexual. They have a right, if they're born biologically male, to deny that and call themselves female. They have that right. They have a right to change, to get a sex change physically, if they want one, right? They can rearrange themselves physically to be whatever gender they want to be. But they can't rearrange their thinking to be a different gender. Or they can, so long as it's to be homosexual. Then it's okay to rearrange your thinking in that direction. But you can't redirect your thinking and go another way. This is bizarre. But homosexuals don't have the right to seek change in their behavioral, their attitudinal, or say their psychological orientation. Although they have all these rights to play games and be fluid and and gender bend and all this kind of stuff. It's just, people aren't stopping to think what's going on here. At the heart of this bill is a statement to a homosexual that if you're homosexual and you don't want to be homosexual anymore, tough, you're stuck. You have to be. You can't change. That's what they're saying. You can change your biological gender, but you cannot change your psychological gender. It's just unbelievable. How can biological gender be fluid and changeable, on a psychological basis? By the way, because they don't just think themselves into a girl; they have to go get an operation. You understand? So, I think you understand what I'm getting at. Doesn't it stand to reason that if one argues a homosexual has the right to be homosexual, then he must also be given the right not to be? That along with that would be the right to not be homosexual? He has a right to choose whatever gender he wants to be unless he wants to no longer be a gender he decided to be? What do you do with gender when he wants to get an operation to go the other way? This is just crazy nonsense, and I don't even get how people are getting duped by this. It's, God help us, but there are some people in our legislature who have the power to impose on us this kind of insanity. I mean, what are they saying? That once you self-identify as a homosexual, that's it? Are they arguing that biological determinants of gender are subordinate to some mystical, impossible to measure or define or even identify source of feelings about gender, so that a guy comes up saying, well, I feel like a woman trapped in a man's body? That is more immutable than their biological assigned gender? All right. But once this is said, they are required. That just galls me. I don't know how it affects you, but it's just unbelievable that they would have the audacity to tell a homosexual man who wants help, who wants some counseling, who wants somebody to help him come out of that lifestyle that, as we'll see as we proceed here, is very deadly and just miserable. And they want to get out of it, but they're being told effectively, no, you can't. I mean, what is this? Some kind of magic thing happens when a person declares themselves to be homosexual, then boom, some kind of immutable change takes place, or they, whatever. So that's the gist of it. In the next segment, I'm going to begin looking at the specific language of Assembly Bill 2943, and I think you'll find it very interesting. Please give me your response to all this. April 10, by the way, is the date to be praying about. I understand they're going to take this bill to the next level in its process toward becoming law on April 10th. You might want to call your representative and ask them to stand opposed to this bill. And I'll give you some more ammunition on why you should oppose this bill in the next few segments. So anyway, go to our website, brainmassage.net. That's brainmassage.net, and you'll find a place there for contacting the brain masseur, and send me an email. On that form, you'll see a place to indicate lights on. That means you agree with me, and you stand with me in this thing. And you'll ride like Revere to spread the warning out there, okay? You can also select lights off. That means you disagree with me. Now, I don't have a third light for blinking. I agree with some, I disagree with others. You can clarify that in your note to me. Lights off, but you clarify lights on. You get the idea. But maybe you don't want to vote lights on or lights off at all. But you have something you want me to hear about, or you have something you want to say to me. That's okay. You don't have to select one of those. You can just send me a note. Tell me what you think about these things. Express your appreciation for the show. Always like to hear that people out there are appreciating the information that we're making available. And on the other hand, I'm also very interested when persons of the other side of these opinions share with me some of their thoughts, some of their ideas, all right? So you can do that by going to brainmassage.net. God bless you. God bless America. And I'll see you in church.